Good morning. Good morning, wherever you are. And as you can see, I was spying on the chat, and I want to welcome all of you, and wherever you might be. Todd Hobson, hi Todd, and Solar King Ronnie, Maria Craig, Doug M, Naomi H2O, that's a great name for a fish keeper. Daniel Lopez, all right. Let's see, get some more folks to come in here. Welcome everybody to, of course, Cichlids and Coffee. Hope you're having a cup of coffee wherever you are. And can I get a sound check? Let me know if the video and the audio are good. Last week we had some issues, drove me crazy. And let's see here. I'm checking the chat for a sound check. Hey, Marcus in London. How are you, Marcus? And I saw someone earlier, I think from Denmark. Rico Stan is here. Hello, Rico Stan. Giant Panda, love that name. Sound and video are good. Thank you so much. I must have listened to 3 or 4 hours of video on YouTube, just to finding out from folks that do it professionally, and that just looking what they had to say about the settings, both for the mic that I use, I use a mic called a Yeti Nano, and also for the platform called OBS. It's just a free software that allows you to stream, and so I just ingested hours and hours of video to try and figure it out, and I think I've got it, but we'll see. So let's get some announcements done and then jump into a special video that I made for this live stream. I put together a video that is an update on the tank situation that's going on. And let me get back over here to my main screen, and a couple announcements very quickly here. As you know, I mean, I've made some changes this week. I changed the banner, and I love the banner I had before, and but when you do a YouTube banner, you have to be aware of how it's going to appear on different devices. And the banner was great on a laptop, but on a cell phone you would lose the fish. It was just the writing, and I wanted to put some color in the banner, and so I went ahead and came up with a couple slogans. I did a survey. You can see the survey here. And after I came up with the new banner, and 57% liked it, and for 31% it was okay. 11% said it sucks. And that's okay too. Can't be everything to everybody. And but the new banner, if you look at the way the new banner is set up here, you'll notice that it's you've got to put these different levels on it. This top level, the top level, the middle level, and then that bottom level. And the middle level is what you see on a cell phone. The top and bottom would be what you see if you were watching YouTube on your television. And I think you might get I think you get the middle of the middle. In other words, you just get that fish to fish on a cell phone, and on a computer you get the entire middle section. But anyway, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I got this software called Snappa, and it's for doing things like these kinds of designs and things. And anyway, thank you to those of you who answered and were honest on the banner survey, and we ended up with fish keeping made simple. And let me know what you think about that in the chat. I know some of you didn't respond to the survey. Some of you are not part of the, don't go to that YouTube community page. So I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about the new banner. I also released a video. I tried something totally different. I released a video on how to start a YouTube channel, and it was just a total experiment. And I described it to my wife. It was like, I told her, you know, it's like sending a cooking video to a auto mechanic YouTube channel. You know, something different, kind of for a different audience, not entirely kind of a technical how to start a YouTube channel. But I thought some of you might like it because a lot of you have hinted at wanting a YouTube channel. And so I thought I'd put together some tips, some of them very hard won, of what I thought could help you in getting a YouTube channel going underway. But the views on it, as I predicted, the views were very low. And when YouTube is evaluating your channel, they look at things like that with regards to whether we should recommend this channel or put this channel in front of people. And so I had to come up very quickly with something that could help make up what happened with that low volume video. So I came out with this one on filtration. Filtration, you can never go wrong with filtration when you're putting out YouTube videos or YouTube content for fish keepers. So I put together some of the disasters that can be related to filtration, ones that I've experienced personally. Certainly the one on overstuffing a canister. If you ever had a canister filter that rattled, that hummed, that made some unusual noise that you couldn't figure out, chances are, as I mentioned in the video, you were being overzealous and putting too much media, trying to get the filter to do too much. And also, there's a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot between media and water flow. So you want that water flowing through at a certain pace. And so if you overstuff and clog up too soon and your gallons per hour drop very low, you will end up with a cloudy tank. And it's not going to make any sense to you because you're going to say, you know, I have Marine Pure, I have sponges, just like Ben said. I lined them up, in a coarse, medium, and fine. I put some pinky in there, some pinky floss, but my tank is still well. The water isn't you're not turning over that tank enough, and so these are things I've experienced personally. And at any rate, if you haven't watched that video, give it a look. It seems to be relatively popular in the first few days. And if you want to start a YouTube channel, or if you know anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel, check that with them. I have some YouTube content creator buddies who looked at that video and they said, hey, those are some decent tips. So not a bad thing. So let's go ahead and officially start this live stream. What do you say? If you're new, be sure to tap on that subscription button and the bell. That tells YouTube that you like the content, and we're real close to 36,000. I think we were at 35,990 this morning. So we're this close to 36,000. Let's see if we can break 36,000 today. That's awesome. If you told me 4 years ago that I'd be at 36,000, I would have said you were crazy because that just didn't happen. I didn't anticipate it happening. A very quick shout out and thank you to last week's Super Chatters, Todd Hobson, Auric de la Cruz, Denny's Aquatics, Iman Fountain, John Wallace, Texas Fish Room, and Elijah Davis. Elijah, if you're still here, I sent your envelope out. I had to get a special envelope to get your package out, and it is in the mail. Please let me know when you receive it. Anyone who super chats If you would like, you can get some free stickers. If you don't have them already, I have the Cichlids and Coffee sticker. I have a brand new sticker that I just made. Check it out. Wouldn't that look good on the bottom corner of your aquarium? And I have, of course, the new logo. That's Vinny's design from Vinny's Aquatics. And they make signs. They're sending me a sign. They had a COVID issue at their shop. And so production slowed down. And now they're back and running. So they say they're going to be getting me the sign soon. It's going to be hanging over my shoulder here. And I can't wait. It's going to be a beautiful sign to display during the live streams. And let's see here. Let's get rid of this. A big shout out to the super chat, to the Cichlid Shack, one of the sponsors of the channel. And don't forget that if you go to the Shack, use Shack Attack, all lowercase, Shack Attack 10. I'll show it to you. Shack Attack 10. That gives you 10% off on fish and also on anything, on extreme food, anything you want to get from the Shack. Shack Attack 10 gets you 10% off. All right. And so we had a new banner. I released an experimental video. And what else happened? I also visited a local fish shop that I have never been to. This was yesterday. Took me an hour to get there. And about 40 minutes coming back. And, you know, traffic in Tennessee is nothing. It's nothing compared to Los Angeles. I had to pick up my daughter at the airport. It was around midnight a couple of days ago. There was nobody. I must have seen, I don't know, 15 cars in an hour of driving. So I'm definitely not in Los Angeles anymore. So at any rate, I went to this shop, and I'm going to share with you tomorrow my experience there. The reviews were so-so. You know, it had so-so reviews. But it's been my experience that you really have to go out and get into it yourself and make up your own mind. Unfortunately, there are a lot of folks out there, and you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's a restaurant that you love, and someone goes, "Hey, I tried that restaurant. It was horrible. I hated bad service." And the same person that tells you the bad experience they had everywhere they go, they never realize that maybe it's them. It's like that scene in Ferris Bueller, if you know the movie, right? Maybe it's you that's the problem. But at any rate, I went ahead and went out there, and the person working there was very friendly, and I fell in love with a fish. I fell in love with a fish, a big fish, and I brought him home. He's a fish that I've been looking for a long time. Now, this fish might be old. He was brought to the shop by somebody who had him for about 4 years. Who knows if that's accurate? He might be an old fish, so I don't know how long he'll last, but based on how old he is. But he was a cool fish. He was very calm, and we bonded, and I went ahead and bought him. If you can guess, take a guess what that fish is. What do you think I got? Go ahead and comment in the chat, and but you'll have to see the video tomorrow to see what he's actually right in a tank right next to me. I took a little bit of filter media from one of the Expert-Matic filters. I took some used Pinky Floss out of the Marineland Emperor 400s in the tanks behind me. And I put the Pinky Floss in a mesh bag, and I put the used sponges, 2 of them from one of the tanks out of the Expert-Matic. I put them in the tank. I condition the water first. Then I added that media, and I added a little bit of Fritz Turbo. Fritz Turbo, I think it's 700. And he's doing fine. He's been in there since yesterday. So I just filled up a tank, There's no substrate, no nothing. Instantly ready for fish. And I'll certainly be monitoring him and testing and all that good stuff. But he's looking great. Take a guess at what I got. And it's a fish I've been wanting for a long time. I've talked about him for a long time. And let's see if anybody can guess. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and, all right, let me see if anybody's guessed. Chevy fish, a Trimac would be awesome. R. Baglio, a red cap. No, but that's a really good guess. You know, I'm gonna start a Lethanops colony, and red caps are gonna be in there. And let's see here, a Jack Dempsey, an Oscar. Those are really good guesses. Oh boy, I love those red, what do you call those red Oscars? Beautiful. Jack Dempsey's, beautiful. I love Jack Dempsey's. No, Michael, I didn't get a neon tetra. And here's a clue. If I put a neon tetra in the tank with the fish I got, he would probably last about 3 seconds. He'd be a great treat. I already have 2 viejas, Ricky. I already have 2 viejas. Actually, I'm married. I have 3 viejas. If you speak Spanish, you know what I mean. Tengo 3 viejas, amigo. All right, Venusas. I love Venusas. Naomi H2O. I'm going to get another Venusas. I love Venusas, but not a Venusas. Parrotfish, Texas. Man, those are good guesses. Severum, these are great guesses. Hey, Heath comes in with $4.99. Thank you, Heath. Have you ever done a reef tank? God, I'd love a reef tank. And Heath, you have a very good guess, my friend. Heath, because of your great guess and because of your super chat, send me your address. I'm going to send you a towel, an aquarium co-op towel. I have one handy here. And if you want some stickers, tell me too. ben.o.cichlid@gmail.com. ben.o.cichlid@gmail.com. The Hispanic mechanic. He must, sabe lo que dije yo cuando dije viejas. All right. So, okay, enough guessing. Let's go back to the main screen here. I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you. And this is an update on what's going on in here. And I didn't want to miss anything. So what I did is I prepared this video, and so I could give you a little bit of a more fancy, more professional looking report on what's going on. Let's see here. All right, let's do this. The stand for my custom-made tank from Glass Cages here in Nashville is going to be arriving in a couple days. So I thought I'd give you just a little bit of insight into what's going on here. Check out the this glass. It's going to be 3/4 inch glass all the way around, and it has what is referred to as a European brace down at the bottom. If you can see there, there's a brace of glass that goes all the way around the outside edge of the bottom. Pretty thick. So it's reinforced at the bottom. And they marked the low iron glass. This front panel here is low iron. And I'm glad they mark it. Can you imagine spray painting what you think is the back of your tank and then having it turn out to be the one low iron panel? That'd be a little frustrating. In my case, I'm going to be using some of this type of material that I've talked about in a prior video. This is that Velamax that it gives you a nice matte background. You can see here, just a real nice flat black. So I'll be using this material as a background for this tank and see how I like it. And my friend John here in Nashville, who I met when I first got here, provided me with some substrate. This is a, it's called lapis luster. Lapis luster, you can see it. I'm going to be using this as the substrate. I might mix a little more black into it just to bring out some of the colors of the fish, but it's a very nice substrate. For lighting, I'm going to be using this Haiger thin profile. You can see this thing. Super thin profile light, very nicely made, brushed aluminum, full spectrum. So if I want to go with some plants, I can. And it's programmable. I also have a nice collection of caves that I'll be using. See all these caves here. I have several of them, quite a few of them actually. But these things are massive, just massive caves. You can get a perspective here by me holding them. Look at the size of this one. Just a massive piece for the fish to kind of play around in. Still haven't decided what fish I'm going to put in it. I might just transfer over the South Americans, only because I'm having so much fun with those fish. Another thing that's going to be going into the tank, here I'll show you. But if we walk over here to my sink area, where I have all my surgical tools, you'll see down here I have 3 pieces of the Mopani wood. This is Mopani wood from a company called Zoomed, but these are 3 beautiful pieces of wood. Look at these things. Absolutely gorgeous. And I picked them up for about $9, $10 each at a local fish store called Franklin. It's called Franklin Pet Shop. I featured in a prior video. Might even pick up some more of this. It's just beautiful. But I'm going to be soaking it for about a week. Look at the color of the water. Can you imagine setting up your tank and having your tank turn to this brown tea color? So based on comments some of you have made, I'm going to be soaking this for about a week before I can get the tannins out of it. This wood is going to lower the pH, which I think makes the tank more of a tank for the South Americans. My little co-op towel. Love these towels. So I'll be putting that wood in it. Now, how am I going to filter the tank? I still haven't decided. Let's go over here. On the way over there, let's take a look at some of the fish. Yeah, they don't like me walking around. Anyway, I haven't decided whether I'm going to be using the FX6 that I have right here, or putting into play this this sump I'm making. Yeah, I ordered the sock. And I've got the sponges in place, 3 very large, sort of a tower of sponges, and then I have again a Hager. Is it pronounced Hager or Haiger? Hager pump. This is a variable pump, remote control, direct current DC pump, so I can actually control it and just have a variable speed. What I'll probably end up doing though is putting one piece of glass right here, just one separator right here. The reason being is that if the let's say that for some reason there's a problem and water isn't getting back down, or there's some kind of a blockage in the sump system, I want the water in the sump to drain only to a certain level, and then the pump can only empty out this one compartment here while leaving all of this full of water. In the event that, let's say, the let's say that it stops draining or my overflow box gets gets blocked. I don't want the pump to keep pumping all of the water in the sump. I want it to pump only as much as in the final chamber. I'm going to make this a chamber here, and so the pump will only drain out this final chamber once the water level gets down to the piece of glass I'm going to put right here. And as an overflow, if I go with the route of the sump, I'll use what is called the PF 800 by Aesop. It's a very high quality, very high quality overflow box. Gets great reviews. So I put that on the back of the tank, have it drain down into this this homemade. You like these stickers? Cool, huh? Mid-tank dwellers and bottom dwellers. Anyway, so I'll have it drain down into this sock. Then the water will run through these sponges and then get pumped up to the tank by the Hager. So it's exciting. I'm thinking I'm about a week or two out from having this tank, maybe 2 weeks realistically, set up. And for heating, I have a couple choices. Again, my friends at Hager, this is a remote control titanium heater, and I also have another heater here that I featured in a prior video. Very nice heater. This heater is 500 watts, even though it's only, I don't know, what do you think? 10 inches, maybe? It's a very small heater compared to the massive Eheims. And it comes, because the reason they can make it so small is because they took all the controls and they, the thermostat and what have you, and they put it in this here that hangs outside the tank. It's not a controller, like in the normal sense of a heater controller. That it's not a controller. It's just the guts of a heater that are outside of the heater. So you can this tells you the temperature, lets you set the temperature, and it's just the actual mechanical parts that would normally be inside the heater. So because of that, they can make the heater very small. Now, if I'm using the sump, it doesn't matter because the heater can go inside the sump. It's one of the big advantages of a sump is that you can go ahead and just put your heating element inside the sump, and it doesn't even have to be in the tank, taking up space or being an eyesore. Compare that heater to the Eheim unit we have back here. Thing's about 20 feet long, and yes, I'm exaggerating, but they're just very long, and they're great because they disperse the heat over a large area, and so that's good for heat distribution purposes. So I can see what they're thinking, but from an aesthetic viewpoint, unless you have a very tall tank, you almost have to go horizontal. Hey man, what's happening? Check out that. Autopharynx tetrastigma, one of my favorite tropical fish. There's the phoenix. He's the tank jerk. There's the Johnson eye, beautiful fish. And Skittles, the OB. And I have the little dragon blood, which dragon bloods have a reputation of being nasty. This one is this one's a bit of a coward, but he as he puts on size, he might actually become a little tougher. But you can see he's got some beautiful markings. Anyway, I digress. There's the bicolor 500. Very shy, but my God, what a beautiful fish. You see, the African cichlids are not quite as shy as the South Americans. When I'm filming, the South Americans all disappear to this piece of driftwood over here. I don't even know if you can make out that the Starry Night is inside the cave there. barely make out the outline of his face. One of the advantages of that lapis luster, because it has a little bit of texture and color in the sand, I'm not going to be showing every little teeny piece of detritus like you do on this white sand. See, every little piece shows, and it shows quite a bit. Well, it's good because it keeps me on my toes about vacuuming. I do a very light vacuuming of the surface, but there's no forgiving. Everything really stands out. If there's any kind of poop or anything, you're going to know right away. Hey, come on, guys. I'm not going to hurt you. Come on out. So that's the update. That's the update on the tank. I'm excited. The stand will be here in a few days. Joe from Glass Cages is bringing it, and we're going to have to take it off of that roller because I'm going to, we've got it on that Milwaukee roller right now because I need to stain it. And I'll be staining it with some of this here. This is a gray poly stain. I'll be putting it on with a brush, just stroking it on based on the direction of the grain. And one last thing I'm going to have to do before I get everything fired up and running, I'm going to have to do some work on my electrical box and get this box, really get it set up so it can handle the extra load I'm going to be putting on it. Because before, when I was running the floor heater, the space heater, and the refrigerator down here, I was getting the fuses were tripping. So I've got to do a little bit of electrical work. But I've got a little bit of time because I still have to do the stain, give it a couple coats of this, and then get it up on the stand, and we're good to go.